All right, welcome back to the circle, everybody. If you didn't know, now you do. This is Lostboys Cypher Circle. It's a place where I bring artists of all kinds, whether you be an MC, a poet, an author, a painter, a digital artist, or if you just want to come on here and have a conversation. We actually have a whole show dedicated to that. But if you're an artist and you'd like to come on the show and participate in what is our weekly talent show, but also our weekly therapy session, um, it, because this is, at least I try to make it as safe of a place as I can. I try to make it a very safe place for people to share whatever art they feel like and in whatever way they feel like, free expression and free of judgment. So if you're an artist and you would like to come on and participate in our weekly show, you can message me on Facebook at Dylan Lawler or email me at lostboy420x@gmail.com. That's Dylan Lawler on Facebook or lostboy420x@gmail.com. Make sure you go subscribe and follow us on all these platforms right here. Every week we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch for all you Twitchers out there. The gamers who begged me to put it on Twitch, I put it on Twitch. So there you go. You can also find extra clips of us on TikTok, Instagram, and can I get that back up here? Thank you. You can also find extra clips of us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can find the audio versions of all these episodes on all these other platforms you see in front of you or anywhere else you find your podcast, such as Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and anywhere else. Currently, there is a few audio versions missing because we have, for the past few weeks, been having some technical difficulties. But I promise you, to the best of my ability, I will get as many of them that are missing up there as I can and start putting out audio episodes again, probably this week, actually. So stay tuned for that. And also, if you want to go head over to our YouTube channel, you can check out our Lost Boys Presents Deep Cuts show. It is the show where I bring artists on one-on-one to kind of have a more in-depth conversation, just go deeper inside their brain, deeper inside mine, and just, see what makes each other tick. It's a really great show. We talk about pretty much anything and everything on that show, anything from politics to feelings to poetry to whatever it may be. And it's a lot of fun. We've done about 7 episodes with some of my favorite guests that I've had on the show. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel and check that out. And you can also donate to us on Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, all the same tag, LostBoy420X. Make sure you don't forget the X. Now, before we get into the show, as I say, it is our weekly therapy session. And it is a place of free expression and of free thought. And with that, sometimes comes some triggering topics. And that may be anything from political things to sexual things to whatever it may be. And you never know what is going to trigger somebody from day to day. It's not always, dark, depressing shit or gruesome, grotesque shit that triggers somebody. There can be any number of things that just remind you of a past bad memory or trigger you in some way. And so this trigger warning is not only for all the grotesque, the language and everything on this show, but it is also for those moments when something that is talked about or brought up in a piece, is triggering to you and it makes you feel uncomfortable. That is not our intention. We are just here to express our own thoughts and get our own demons out. But we apologize if it does trigger you, and feel free to click out at any time, whether it be artist or audience member. Feel free to click out at any time and come back either later in the show or next week. And also, because it is a show about mental health and about just kind of helping myself, and this is my therapy and trying to help other people use their art as therapy, and come on here and just, express themselves as therapy. I try to give people my best piece. Try to start the show with my best piece of advice. And my best piece of advice is to let it out. It is exactly why I created this show in the first place, because I believe that the worst thing you could possibly do when you're in a dark state or you're having problems, whether they be financial problems or just stress related or whatever the problem is, the worst thing you can do is keep that shit bottled up and not talk to anybody about it. So that's why I created this show, and that's why I want everybody out there, even if you aren't an artist, um, you know, everybody, every single person out there, please don't keep that shit bottled up. Please don't keep it, contained. I urge you to reach out to somebody. There, whether it be your mom, your dad, or a coworker, or a friend, or whatever, there is somebody who will listen to you. I know that the hardest part about being in that spot and having problems is that you feel like no one understands your particular problems or what you're specifically going through, or how you feel. And I promise you, there are people that do, and there are people that are willing to understand and talk to you and help you through it. So reach out to those people. Um, I'd be willing to talk to you any day. And I know multiple guests on here that would be happy to talk to you any day of the week as well. So, but also if you're looking for some more professional help, you can go to lifelinecrisis.com or reach out to their hotline 988. That's anywhere in the country. And within the US. I am not sure about our foreign guests, but you can message me privately and we can figure out some hotlines for you in your country. But that is the hotline for the US, Lifeline Crisis. And also there is betterhelp.com, which is from what I've heard, a cheap form of therapy. This is not by any means a paid promotion. This is just some place that you might be able to find some help. And I know a lot of people that is not to say that people with money can't have stress, but I know that most people who are stressed out and going through problems also don't have a lot of money. And so that's why I kind of like to, promote BetterHelp, because I've heard that it's one of the cheaper options for therapy out there. And also a great thing that I've heard that they do is if you don't connect with the therapist they hook you up with, they'll hook you up with a different one free of charge and keep switching you out until you find someone that you do connect with. So I hope some people can go find some help there. And yeah, man, just let it out. Don't keep it bottled up. And if you'd like to ask us anything during the show whatsoever, drop some fire emojis in the comments, clapping hands, whatever it may be. Comment section is always open. Now we're gonna kick the show off with a piece. I really didn't know. All the pieces I'm writing right now are exactly that, being written, not done. So I didn't really have anything to share with you guys that's new. So this is a piece I wrote for 420. And I already gave the trigger warning, but I apologize in advance if anybody is doing the sober thing. I am very proud of you, and I am sorry that if this triggers you at all. It is about weed. But that being said, yeah, let's get into it. It's called Roll It Up. You could say I smoke a lot of weed, about an ounce of pot a week. It helps to calm my ADD and all this fucking rage in me. You should probably stay away from me. It's plain to see I'm faded and there ain't no way you're changing me. I just hate it when they gaze at me and say that it's a phase and it's a waste for me. They should be giving praise to me. See, I'm basically EAP blazed into a haze of glee. Even ravens come and blaze with me. Whole masquerade is painted green. And maybe you relate to me. It helps me face the pain and grief and helps to fade the hate, you see. It's how I tame this angry beast. I lock it in a cage and throw away the key to hide behind this hazy screen and fake it like I'm playing scenes. So roll it up and take a seat. Yeah, roll it up and blaze it, man. It's been a day I'm trying to smoke. Some people call it medicine, some people call it dope, but it's the only thing that helps me find the peace inside my soul when I'm lost and all alone, like I'm trapped inside a hole and there is nowhere to go. I just inhale all the good shit and I exhale all the bull. They tell me I'm a druggie. I just tell them suck my dick. You look like you need a coffee, yo. Just go and get your fix, because everyone's addicted, man. It is just what it is. And all this fucking criticism gets a bit ridiculous when caffeine, sex, and liquor out here running all the businesses. And they don't fucking care about our illnesses. They profit off of pill prescriptions. That's why pot is still prohibited and we don't have a pot to piss in. Kids are out here getting sick and all they need is a couple hits and not the shit we give them that'll tear apart their liver and induce more of the sicknesses, man. I'm so fucking sick of this. I was given Adderall and Ritalin when I was just 11. Then I found this magic plant and I knew it was my medicine. I knew that it was heaven sent. I knew I found a missing piece. A better me was hidden deep and then released with THC. And now I'm free just being me exactly how I'm supposed to be. I fly so fucking high you might just float if you get close to me. I wrote this while I'm smoking green, token on the dopest weed to focus all the dopamine. Neural pathways opening. Now I'm floating down the smoke, it seems, while motion slows like slow-mo scenes, just trying to get close to peace with every fucking bowl I achieve. I know my soul's a broken piece and there's no magic potion, but I won't accept my own defeat. I'm cloaked in fake emotion, getting closer to the ghost of me, just hoping I don't choke before I go and that they notice me, because that would be the closest thing to holding all my hopes and dreams. See, it's not about just rolling leaves. It's about the things I go achieve when I'm roasted off the dopey tree. I'll do shit you won't believe. Y'all just think it's so obscene, but take a second slow with me. Bring your homies, roll a G, toke some green. We'll get toasted, then we'll toast a piece, and hopefully we'll be sowing seeds of harmony. And that is Roll It Up. And with that being said, I'm going to get us into our first guest of the night, who has a big smile on her face. I'm glad you enjoyed my piece. Thank you. And our guest of the night, our first guest of the night, I should say, is one that many of you might recognize. She's been on a lot before, but has not been on in quite a while, I think, Brandon, right? Yeah. Miss Tasanya is back. She's a poet and an energy reader. You guys can go follow her on Facebook at Tasanya Gray, and also message her there if you'd like to get a tarot card reading. And you can go follow her on Instagram at Tasanya Rochelle, and then on TikTok at Tilly3623. And the Tilly has, I believe, we established as 13 Ys. TILLYYYY. No, wait, hold on. I'm not sure how many Ys there are, ladies and gentlemen, but it's going to be up on the screen in a minute. So I'm going to play her flyer and get her up here. All right, I don't know what happened to your your Instagram there, but or your TikTok there, but
No, that flyer is right. I told you I don't have TikTok anymore.
oh, it is okay. You did. Oh, all right. That's my bad. So my intros were written incorrectly, but the flyer was right.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I do remember now. You had last time you came on, you had gotten rid of the TikTok. I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome back. It's good to have you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you are always rocking like a different style every time. Every single time I see you, like you almost look like a different person. Like the flyer that just played, you couldn't if you unless you look really close at the face, you couldn't even tell. They got now that you got this
Yeah.
big afro. I love it. It's awesome. So for those of us who don't know you, if you want to tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Let's see. I am an artist in every form of the word. I paint, I write, like you said, I do tarot cards, I want to do fashion design. I illustrate fashion design, but I don't know how to sew just yet.
Right,
I
right.
have been doing a lot of art stuff in here in Odessa.
Oh, yeah, muted for a second. Oh, nice. Awesome. I really love that you have like just more than one passion. You kind of like, dip yourself into like all these, keep yourself
Yeah.
versatile, keep yourself moving and just trying different things. I really like that. That's awesome.
And
So
a lot of the stuff that I do is stuff that I'm doing for the first time.
nice. That's scary too, trying, especially when it comes to art. Trying anything for the first time is scary, but especially when it comes to art, you know, it is even more so because at least the way I feel is like when I try a new art, whether it be, I write fantasy sometimes. I write raps and poetry. I also write spoken word that doesn't rhyme at all. But every time I dip
Hmm.
my toes into something else, I feel an enormous weight of like I have to live up to this. Like I have to live up to the artist that I respect to do this. Because in other words, and I feel like it's okay to attempt something and fail. That's perfectly okay to do in life. But in my way of thinking is every time I dip my toes into something in a new art craft, I want to um put at least as much effort into it as all the artists that I see that do it, and respect to do it, or and I feel like it would be a disrespect to that art craft not to like give my 100% to it and really make it as best as it can be. um and yeah,
Yeah.
and so it's like I don't play basketball because I'm a short white guy, and I just know that I wouldn't like, what I mean? Like I wouldn't do it justice. I wouldn't do what people have done before me justice. It's okay if I'm not, and that's where I think about like when it comes to like writing raps, it's okay if I'm not as good as Eminem, right? And there's a lot of people who aren't as good as Eminem or as good as the Wu
Right.
Tang Clan or whatever, right? But there are people that put as much effort in and at least do it justice, do the attempt justice. So when I dip my I'm very hesitant to dip my toes into a lot of new things because I want to be able to do those things justice and want to be able to put my all energy into it.
Yeah, I can understand that. Maybe I need to take that into account because, like, when I try something, my biggest fear is like, well, what blocks me a lot of the times is if I try something and I suck at it, I rarely will pick it back up because I feel like, okay, well, I'm supposed to be good at it, or I see other people doing it, so I'm like, well, yeah, I can do that because I see other people doing it. But
And
it's
you know
not
what
as
though,
easy. Some of that stuff isn't as easy as it looks.
that is true, and it's a two-sided coin, right? Because even fucking Eminem, even Method Man, even Jay-Z, none of these people were a fucking when they first picked up the pen, they didn't, you know what I mean? They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. I mean,
Yeah,
we all come into this world not even knowing how to speak. We don't even know how to
yeah.
speak. So everything can be learned. That is the great thing
And then
about the
people
human
were
existence
like,
is everything is technically possible to learn. Like we can learn anything.
yeah.
Um,
People like tell me with my art, they're like, oh, well, you're so good, or that must be hard. I'm like, but to me, it's easy. So people probably think that about their stuff too. Well, that's hard to learn. Well, no, it's not.
right, right. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I wouldn't say, don't I like I said, I like that you make yourself versatile and dip your toes into a bunch of different waters, but yeah, no, I think just take into consideration both sides of the coin. One side of the coin is it really good to make yourself versatile, and doing other art crafts can actually make you like each like say painting will make you a better writer and
Mhm.
vice versa. I speak to people on here who
It's funny
do
you
who,
say that because
who
one
do
of the
both. Yeah.
pieces I'm doing tonight, I painted a piece to go with the poem.
Oh, nice. You should have taken a picture of your phone and sent it to me. I could have actually had it up on screen, but you can just show it when you do your piece. Um,
Yeah, I'll do that
yeah,
one last.
nice, nice. Awesome.
Yeah, that's
So,
the first time I've ever done anything like that.
yeah, that I really like that when there's a physical piece to go with a piece of art. I have a author on here, who's actually from Lithuania, Jack. I think he was on like a couple weeks ago. And he occasionally paints like just like scenes from his book, just like one scene. Like he won't
Hmm.
do like the whole like paint out the whole chapter and whatever, but he'll occasionally do scenes and he picks the best scenes. Like one of them was like at the beginning of the book. I won't give it away too much, but like his main character gets like tortured in a way, and the
Hmm.
picture that he has for it like looks almost like the screaming man kind of thing, and but like darker and more like I don't know, just insidious. Like it's just like fucking it looks evil and dark, and he just did such a great job with the atmosphere. And then but like the words, the story feeds into the atmosphere of the
Uh
picture, and
huh.
then vice versa. That's why I think that they make you better in those respective arts, is
Yeah.
because they kind of
Yeah.
feed off of each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So did you want to do that one first, or you want to do a different one first?
No, I'm going to do that one last.
All right, cool. So what's the first one you're gonna do?
It's called Burn It Down.
Burn it down. All right. I'm gonna get
Mhm.
that title up here and get myself out of here.
Okay. Burn it down. A fear built foundation, shaky and unstable, mold clinging to baseboards, cobwebs of lies strung together like cotton candy floss, childhood dreams tattered and torn, worn wooden floors heavy with dust, secrets scattered in the air, walls coated with years of grime, cracks from mama being slammed into it too many times. Shouts rise and fall, cries echo, bouncing off the empty walls, heart beating fast and hard. Tears sting my eyes as memories flood my mind. Cold nights without electricity, sleeping on hard floors, cracked bedroom wall, cracked bedroom doors, unwelcome visitors. My hands shake as I lightly run my fingers across the old curtains, cranberry red with splotches of yellow, ugly, but Mama loved them so much. Weak sunlight filters in, painting everything sepia and amber. I inhale the memory of Daddy's hands on my throat. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Just a memory. Worlds collide, past, present, a foggy future, peeling like the layers of an onion, bitter, burning. Daylight sinks into the distance as I take in the house that was never a home, now empty, the dry bones rattling. Matches shake in my hand as I light a cigarette. Smoke wafts upwards, disappearing into the enclosing darkness. This house holds broken dreams, quiet screams, lost lives. I strike another match, let it fall. The curtains Mama loved so much go up in flame. Fire licks the walls, a beast loose, seeking revenge, reprieve, release. I walk out into the cool night air, take a step back, watch the past turn to ashes, burn it down. Before I leave, I see the phoenix rise.
Ooh. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that one definitely needs some fire emojis in the comments, guys, for sure. Holy shit. I love for so first thing that really stuck out to me about that piece is the imagery. Just such vivid detail. Like excruciating detail to from texture, sound, smell, like it's all in there. Sound, smell, and but to me what really did it was like this the texture and how you like the allegories that you painted between the texture and the look of the room and the memories that they drew in your mind and like the assimilation between the two was so elegant and but yet so like blunt and punch you in the face at the same time, if you know what I mean. Like it was slow and elegant and haunting, but also very like reach out and grab you and
Hmm.
like grab you by the collar and like make you pay attention kind of thing. Um but I really really loved the whole message in it. Uh just, and essentially sometimes, y- you have to burn down the house of the past to build a new one. And I really love
Yeah,
that last line of before I left, I saw the Phoenix. That was amazing. That was I didn't like I really I thought it was over there. Like I didn't even see how you could but that just analogy at the end, you saw the Phoenix rise from the ashes at the end, just what tied it all together so fucking perfectly. Um
thank you.
but yeah, I mean it was one of those pieces that was immediately triggering, even if like even if you can't relate to it, because it brings you in and makes you feel like I'm you. Like I can feel your pain and
Mhm.
I can feel like what you're going through because you're describing it in such excruciating detail from the texture of like the curtains, and how they feel and just everything and each feeling and each sight evokes a different memory and how you would intertwine that so elegantly. That was just fantastic. Fantastic fucking piece. Fantastic. Um, I'm gonna bring these other artists up to see what they thought about it. Oh, hey, we do have
Hello.
our newest guest. Hi, everybody. All right, Robin, what did you think
Hello.
of her piece?
Just like your description is definitely brings you right to, you know, the place and what's going on, and definitely a lot of emotion behind it. It was awesome. Really good.
Thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sam, what did you think?
I loved it.
Thank you.
Well,
That's it. I
first of all,
loved it.
is Sam okay?
Sam is okay. It's funny that
Okay.
you say that because I wrote a piece this week actually talking about how Sam was not okay for me when I was a kid.
Oh, dude, people used to call me Dill. Ugh, I fucking hate it. I
Guilt.
hate it. This actually a fucking 5-year-old kid said it to me. I think it was yesterday he said it to me, and I looked at him. I was like, "Listen, you are the only person on this earth, the only person on this earth that I'll let call me that." Yeah, no, I definitely get that. But yeah, as long as Sam is okay. If not, then I will definitely.
It's
Um,
okay.
all right, thank you. Um, Cage, what did you or Caleb, whatever you want to go by tonight. However, whatever personality you're taking on.
Man, I loved it. It was really cool. You had a lot of good imagery in it. Like your way of describing is so like on point with what you're trying to describe. Like it's like relatable. Like it's a scene that I feel like I've seen before.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. It does. It has that almost that cinematic quality, that movie in your head. As soon as as soon as you start to read it, you get that movie in your head, and you could just like, for at least for me, like I just see her hand just like tracing over the curtains, and then like I could smell the smoke, see like feel the like heat of the flames. Like it was very vivid, and I felt it. I loved it. Yeah,
Thank y'all so
fucking
much.
great piece. All right, we will catch you again in a few minutes for your next piece.
Okay.
All right. All right. Next up, we are bringing back one of my favorite guests of all time. She has not been on here for quite a while, but I'm very, very happy to have her back finally. Miss Robin Bowser is back. She's a poet, a rapper, a singer, a certified Reiki healer, and she dabbles in holistic medicines. Um, uh, I'm gonna skip that part. Actually, she has a Reiki skull. She has a Reiki studio, which is called by the name of Reiki Soul Studio. So go ahead and go look that up, and also you guys can go follow her on Facebook at Robin Bowser. And I'm gonna play her flyer and get her up here. Hold on. There we go. There you
There.
are. Hey, it
Hey,
froze for
how are
me
you?
for a second.
Oh
Hey,
my God, I'm
welcome
on.
back. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I'm good. It's been quite a while.
It has been. Last time was a rough one, man. I was like almost there. I almost got on the show, and then it was gone, and my internet went out.
I
It was
know.
horrible. But whatever. I'm here now.
I felt
Yay.
so bad. I was like, I got to get you back on as soon as possible. As soon as
Yeah,
possible.
for
Well,
sure.
I'm
I'm
happy to
glad.
have you back.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. How have you been?
Oh, just trying to keep my head above water. I think I've gone through like 2 or 3 jobs since the last time you saw me, but the
Oh
show
well.
has not changed that much. This is our second. This is our
No,
second season. So
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, my internet's freezing again.
It's going all right for now. I guess
Right on.
it is. You
Yeah,
are
thanks.
glitching out a little bit.
Yeah, I know. So I'm gonna read some stuff so I can actually get on.
So what it is? Yeah. All right. So what it is it's a lag between us. So I'll have you just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then you can get right into your piece. I'll just get myself out of here.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, so I've been writing. I actually stopped writing for a little bit. This is actually something I wrote whenever he got a hold of me the first time, and like it had been a couple months, maybe even like almost a year. So I just wrote this back to him. It was in response to what he said. Like, he's like, hey, how you doing? And I said, and I'll just get into it. Days have been long, nights are prolonged, doing everything right just to get it wrong, providing me with the words to write this song. They ground me, reminding me that where I am is where I belong. Out of the lessons I've learned, the ones I teach are the ones that make me strong. It's okay to go against the grain and prove everybody wrong. It's what motivates me and inspires me to keep on keeping on. It's why I'm here and why I always put on the path I'm on, transmuting dark energy, I'm getting it gone. Experiences I hope everyone reaps the benefits from. I'm an open book, so read along. Making mistakes brought me to the trauma I've undergone. Play by play with every day, an ugly duckling became a swan. Getting ahead only by knowing that brains don't take a back seat to brawn. Using the powers which I was born, I don't fight my nature. Speaking my truth ensures a divine future. Go against it and you're paying a fee. Unlike blood, values don't leak. And they do, if they do, morals are weak. What people think, opinions won't bring me to my knees. Only serving what serves my reality. Not scared to work hard because I do it for me. It's humbling to achieve and I'm grateful to be seen. Laughing at my perfect imperfectlies. Time flies when aligned and how much you have isn't guaranteed. Your willingness to let things go, forgiveness, and expectations determine the speed. The compassion you show and if you give when you receive. If your spirit can stop your mind from being led by greed. What type of grower are you? What intentions do you have while sowing your seeds? If you're giving unconditional love, no matter the hardship it brings. Standing up for yourself, setting boundaries, and being realistic with things. Experience is learning that disappointment stings. This world needs more truth and authenticity, more spiritual beings, ones that chose to come here and shed their wings, just so the collective would find its way back to the more basic things. To be a shoulder to cry on when frustration intervenes, a crutch when the pressure overwhelms you and you need a place to lean. Everyone should have a safe place to sleep, to escape to the land of dreams. It's tiring being a lion amongst so many sheep, consistently choosing to do the next right thing. You start feeling weak when anticipation is too much to bear because all along you've been getting shown sneak peeks. When there are mouths and bellies to feed and you struggle to supply enough food to eat, that's when you need to step back and breathe. Clear your mind and find your peace. Let go of the thoughts that make you feel like you're not doing good enough, that this should be a breeze. Forget what you were taught and about what's acceptable. Let your intuition take the lead. Don't put yourself above anyone, because when we get cut, not one of us doesn't bleed. And with the cut deep enough, does it matter with whom it's healed and cleaned? Or would you choose to survive? Would you let judgment and racism intervene, putting an end to the light you were here to beam? We have to stop treating each other like disposable machines. Each other's faults lay the foundation for us to believe, to give us hope and fuel our dreams, all while creating strengths another being was put here to glean. Traits and abilities passed down through the genes, from generation to generation, forming what we call destiny. Giving grace and mercy, and you will see a world that has what it takes for us to truly be free. Ta-da! My famous ta-da.
And now, yeah, I love the ta-da at the end. I missed that.
And
now you guys see why she's one of my favorites. That was amazing. And you took me on a journey. And so first of all, the reason that you're one of my favorites is that the stuff you write, I really vibe with it on like a spiritual level, like it, especially the first part of that piece when it started off about, it was just, hey, how are you? And it was your reply. And it was such a journey because you started with your personal struggles, the things you've been going through and how they've been eating at you and breaking you down. And then it went into this place where you're trying to heal yourself and empower yourself. And then by the end of the piece, you're reaching out to other people, and it's a poem, and now it's all of a sudden become a poem about healing everybody and making everybody like just come together and be happy. And like I just love that journey of like literally starting from darkness, going into light, and then trying to bring others into the light with you. Like it's just such, that is exactly, I mean, that's the essence of my show. That's the essence of everything that I do when I write. You know, that's why I, you know, vibe with it at a spiritual level, is because that is exactly, you know, my mission is, you know, is heal myself while trying to heal others. And I just love how that flowed. It seamlessly flowed into a poem about yourself, from a poem about yourself into a
so
poem about
fun.
other people. And
I had such a blast
and
writing
it was so amazing. And as always, your rhyme schemes are amazing. You know, you have your ability to keep a slow, measured, poetic cadence while delivering, frankly, bars is just amazing. Amazing. I love it. I love it. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on again and sharing that with us. Thank you. Bring these
You're
other
welcome.
guys
I
up.
really appreciate you for reaching out to me, because I didn't write anything for almost like 3 months probably. And then when you said, "Hey, just how you doing?" and that came, and I was like, I've been writing ever since. So, you know, you helped me out.
Well, I am so glad that again, that is literally what I set out to do when I you know created the show, and when I started, you know, putting my stuff out there, is, you know, give other people not only the platform but the feeling that like they're not alone, and that like just by asking you how you are, like I try to ask everybody who's ever been on the show. I hit them up every once in a while and just make sure everything is going good, everything's, you know, whatever. And I always invite them back on the show, because I feel like the best way to heal myself is to help others heal, you know, and yeah, and it's just, so every time I'm able to help somebody create something and in turn help themselves heal, it is just amazing, and I am so thankful for that. So so Tasanya, what did you think?
Not only is it like a beautiful poem, just in general, you know, the message behind it, the healing, but do you put Reiki work into your work?
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
do?
I do. Yeah,
It
absolutely.
can be felt.
You know, those who accept it, of course. But yeah,
It
absolutely.
can be felt.
I do like energy work goes into everything I do, I think. Like
Yeah.
once you
And your
work with
energy is,
you can't really not have it affect what you're doing.
yeah, your energy is it's felt through your work. Or at least
Oh, well,
I
thank
can
you.
feel it through your work.
Thank you
Absolutely.
very much. That means a
And I
lot.
like, Robin, I like what you said about you have to be willing to accept it too, because
Yeah,
I think that artists are people who are able to perceive and take in the energy of the universe in a different way, and accept it in a different way, and channel it back out in a different way. That's what an artist is. So yeah, it's really all about accepting the energy and channeling it back out, and being willing to open your mind up and open yourself up to be a vessel for that energy to come in,
absolutely.
whether it be
Some people just
It's a
aren't ready
very
for that, you know?
physical feeling.
yeah,
It is.
absolutely.
It's why usually you're at the bottom whenever it comes to fruition. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, when you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. So, you know,
Yeah.
absolutely.
As long as you're cool
Hey,
with going down a couple more times, maybe every once in a while.
yeah, oh
Nobody's
yeah,
Every once in
perfect.
a
oh
You know
while.
yeah.
what I mean? That's my
Life will
biggest
knock you
thing is I
down.
think, yeah, we need to like take more, like give each other, like I said, always grace and mercy, because we're here to experience. So we're all gonna mess up. So stop judging each other so much.
Absolutely. Caleb, what you think,
And
man?
yourself, stop judging yourself as well.
Again, loved it. You always come on here with these cool ass pieces. Actually, specifically. There's a lot of similarities to the one I'm about to be doing here. Like you had this line about the ugly duckling. That right there, that was cool. That was cool. But as always, you always come on here with a bunch of good pieces. I'm glad I'm in this show, and you're back after so long. Like it's just a really cool. It's nice to hear a piece come out. That's fantastic. Good job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Sam, what'd you think?
It was definitely relatable. Yes, it was a beautiful piece. Um,
Thank you.
I yeah, definitely relatable.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that's another important thing, that if you are someone who's trying to help heal, and how, like just kind of bring knowledge to people, making it relatable is very important.
100%.
No, so
Yeah. Yeah, I think the best pieces ever written are just pieces that everybody will connect to at some point, and that's why, every song about heartbreak always is a banger, because we're all going to experience heartbreak at some point in our life, so everybody's going to relate to that song without a doubt. It's the easiest type of song to make, yeah, the more you can connect with your the people that you're trying to encapsulate. And I don't even like to say audience, because I don't even think about the people that I write to as an audience. I think of them as like a support group. That's why I call it the circle, because it that's what I've really tried to create, is like a family, a support group, a place where we can just come and express ourselves and be us, because I feel like a lot of us spend 90 to 95% of the day just not being us, like putting on some kind of facade, some kind of face or whatever. And it's just really great to be you for a little bit. So I hope everybody feels like they can do that. And yeah. Anyway, with that being said, we're gonna get to my man Caleb here. Actually, give me 1 minute here. Brandon, let me see that for a second. Do. Here we will play his flyer for you real quick, and then we will get him up here. But I have to put his flyer on here like this, because my computer is stupid. All right. Here we go. I'll get myself out of here and play his flyer as soon as the fucking thing loads.
I need a little bit of rehabilitation. I have this compulsion of notion that each brain wave is causing commotion, that each stone slab that I lay causes erosion, each step that I take simply causes contortions, like my reality spits acid and I'm causing this brain to split open while hanging on the rope to my ceiling. I see the life in this message. It brings death in a bottle from my vast ocean, bringing tsunami waves while I harbor the pain through these countless hurricanes. Like so much that I'm stuck in the riptide, and luck is a landline. Once I make it to dirt, you'll see me stuck in the landslide, slipping through earth, trying to waste time. Pointless hours on minutes, I feel the soul sipping the seconds like bottoms up. I'm drinking hell's essence, contemplating what life means while relaxing, waiting for fiends and relapsing my dreams. If you don't understand what I mean, then me and you simply couldn't be seen walking side by side. Like glass I walk on, it started to bleed. The mountain I climb gets bigger and mean, and the house on the top is the place it's me.
Bro, I fucking love that, dude. And in case you guys didn't catch that, you guys can go follow him on TikTok at KC790. But yo, I love that shit, bro.
Dude, that shit made me want to cry every time I hear it. Oh man.
Yo, that's the best type of shit though. Like when you write it and you fucking are like get choked up and you start to cry while you're writing it. Like I've had pieces where like no shit, teardrops have like fall on the fucking paper as I'm writing it. Like those are those are gonna be bangers. You know those are gonna be bangers. You know those are gonna kill every fucking time. Like and like not to say that you can't make a happy piece that still kills and does great, but I feel like the more emotion you put into it and the more emotion you are, like the more it's gonna touch other people and connect to other people for sure. Yeah, dude, I love that, and not only that, but the flow and the rhyme scheme too. Like, can we give it up for my man? That's fucking. I love that fucking shit. I love that piece, and at some point we got to get that like fucking produced and put together.
I swear to God, Dylan. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I did this show and I had the music that I knew behind what I'm saying, I'd make everybody cry. I swear to God.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I've been saying for months. Get this man on a beat and it's all over. He can sit here all day and wow you with his acapellas, and your acapellas, don't get me wrong, they fucking kill, but get this man on a beat and it is all fucking over. I like end the story. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, most of us know you because you're on like almost every week. But if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself for those of us who don't know you, we actually have a guest this week, so
I always gonna say it. Actually, I had to say it especially now, okay? Because there's a 50-50 chance I don't know what second song I'm gonna do just yet. But if I do it, it's very heavy on schizophrenic. I'm a schizophrenic individual with a multiple personality disorder type deal going on with that. It's a whole lot to do, and I write off of that. So a lot of my music is inspired by exactly that. So sometimes it's a little chaotic. You really got to follow along with what I'm saying because I tell stories. It's a story and everything.
and one thing a lot of people don't know about you is that not only are you telling a story in each one of your pieces, but a lot of your pieces connect to each other too. And that's something that I've learned from just knowing you and having you on the show a bunch is, you like to call it an odyssey, if I'm not mistaken, right? You assimilate it to Homer's The Odyssey in its construction. Yeah. And I really like that. And I find all the Easter. I'm one of those people who goes on YouTube and watches like those Easter egg breakdowns of movies and shit. Or of like, all my favorite movie or like an episode of like whatever. There's people on YouTube who do like breakdowns, and like I'm one of those people who like fan service and Easter eggs are one of my biggest fucking things. It's like if you can work like and not force fan service down your fucking throat, but like literally like elegantly work it in there where it makes sense and it fits. It gives you so many more points in my book. Like I love when an artist can do that, and you do it in almost all of your pieces. If you listen close enough, you can find every shit from your past work just weaved in there. And I think that's actually one of the reasons, like, obviously there's a bunch of reasons to like Eminem, but I think growing up is like, as a story person, a kid who grew up like listening to fantasy stories and shit, like I just appreciated his ability to like tell a story and then go back and like do a million callbacks and like progress the story through those callbacks to the story he's already told, if you get what I mean. And like, the legend of Slim Shady got slowly built by him referencing other songs that he did as Slim Shady and just like kind of, you know what I mean? And you do that in the same way that he does, but you have to really, like you said, you have to really be listening for it, really be going along with it, and also be familiar with a lot of your work. But yeah, I really love the story that you weave into your shit, man. I want to say that up front.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I work hard on it. I work hard, so it's nice to know that you have like. That's cool that you be following. It's just cool to know that somebody's been following along to be able to catch it. Like in my brain, that's super amazing. It's just one person. Like if I ever got famous and I'd be looking on the internet, looking my name up, I would want to see people putting together the story. Like that's what I want to see. And like then I'll be
Yeah, dude. Just create like a bunch of like fake Reddit accounts. Be like, what are these motherfuckers saying? What are these? And then like maybe every once in a while, right? You hop in there and you throw a suggestion and be like, hey, maybe he's talking about this. And then you watch them just fucking go crazy. And like, yeah, that would be fun as fuck, dude. That's definitely one of the things that like I don't know about famous. I want to be like the level of famous where it's like you're that guy. You know what I mean? Like that's how I want to. I don't want it to be like, oh my god. I just want it to be like you're that guy. You do that thing. You nice man. I like your stuff. And that's what I want. That's what I want. If I can, if and and to a certain extent, I already have that with a lot of you guys, which is awesome. And like you were saying, like to see, I feel just the same way to see people like keeping up with my progression throughout the last year and a half that I've been doing the show and just like, the story that I've been telling in my pieces. It's just been like, it's a really empowering feeling. It really is, dude. It's awesome. Just, from anywhere from 1 to 10 million fans, I'm always going to feel exactly the same about it. Just as astonished and just as awestruck and blessed, from all the way to the fucking top. It's because really it wouldn't your art one, yes, it's a therapy for you. At the end of the day, you're gonna make art anyway because you have to, because it's how you get your therapy out and how you get your demons out and how you exercise. But at the end of the day, if it's not connecting with other people, if it's not like, then it's just like, what is the point? What is the point? And to me, like I said earlier, I don't really write for like an audience, but I do write with like certain people in mind sometimes, like, and it'll be like a certain line, right? I'll write a line and when I'm writing that line, I'll be thinking like of a certain member of the Lost Boys group, or like one of your songs that I've heard, or like you guys all like kind of in keeping up with my journey, you help me progress my journey. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel that way too? Like the more people watch and the more people support, the more it gives you to like feed off of. You know what I mean?
I sure
Like a
do.
snowball effect.
Exactly. And the moment I get that feedback, I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. And that's, dude, that is why I cannot like thank you enough for being such a like the most intricate part of the show. I mean, at this point, you are damn near my co-host. It's me, you, and fucking my producer Brandon, who I, obviously keep locked in a basement, chained up at all times in a cubicle, working 23 and a half hours a day, of course. But besides you, me, and my slave here, it's just been us for the last year and a half, just like building this shit. And I'm sorry, that's an inside joke for people who watch the show. But no, on some real shit, man. Like you have literally from the beginning helped me build this show, and just by being here, and just by being yourself here, and expressing yourself to the utmost, and showing people that like okay, when most people think schizophrenia, like that is I don't know if you know this, but that scares a lot of people. They think a lot of the shit that you see on TV, and well, a lot of that shit is real. And like they think like like movies like The Shining, or like you know what I mean, like crazy psychological fucking murder thrillers. And well, that is part of what schizophrenia is. I love that you come on here and show that it is like that you're just comfortable in being yourself, even though you have one of the most like stigmatized conditions. right? And one of the most stigmatized conditions that is feared and looked down upon and kind of like shied away from, and you're just on here being yourself, expressing yourself to the fullest. And not only that, but making hundreds of people love you. Like I get messages saying that fucking I get messages about your shit. People love you. Your shit is fucking dope. And just I think it's a lot of what it is that your willingness to be so real and be so expressive and just let it all out. Like, yeah, guys, I'm fucked up. I'm messed up in the head. I got 8 different personalities going on up here, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still gonna fucking chase my dreams. Me and my 8 personalities are gonna fucking chase my dreams and fucking and just your rawness and your expressiveness is just it makes this show what it is, and it really at the core shows people that they can do the same. And so that's why you are just like one of the most intricate parts of this show, bro. For real.
You're gonna make me cry, bro. You gotta quit. You gotta quit. You gotta quit.
All right, man. All right. So then we'll just have you all right. Then we will just have you do something. What are you gonna do?
I'm doing bad.
What's that? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Bad news.
Bad news. All right. We didn't have that up here because I think I called you in last minute, but you know what? I'm gonna get that title up here as soon as I can and get out of here.
Huh. Small breeze with a rain view. With little dreams and a can do. A whole world full of miles, but I can't choose. Dollars in my pocket, but I'm broke too. Hope in my head without a breakthrough. Stepped as a lad, now I'm a man, dude. Throwing pocket chains at problems like a gun do. Holding all the pain above my throat. Every single soul I heard is probably dead now. In their head, I'm probably dead too. Yeah. Dead too. Feeling like I'm chained down. Big fucking swan. What's the chains do? Take a fucking dive, but I'm stuck, dude. Feeling like a swan out of water. Like an ugly fucking duckling turned into a monster. I got bad news. It's rolling out my head like a typhoon. Used to breaking bread, now we're just breaking voices. Pursuit of happiness, but I'm standing in the cold like a heart's supposed to be warm, but I'm dead. So walk the tundra frozen. Talk but don't listen. We'll change without direction. You'll find your way a little crooked, but what's an adventure if there isn't any conflict? I've got bad news rolling out my head like the pin to dough. Whoa. Crash land. Leave a scar along the warband. Lend an ear and hear a horror, son. Listen, boy, it's a war, son. Have the other by the neck, sword in the back, yet is peaceful. An embrace of darkness, baby. The only light along this yellow brick road. I guess it just isn't for most. So I've got bad news. It's rolling down my head like a tycoon. Breaking bread, but we're broke too. How we run a business if the ledger isn't kept. Face full of regret as the building falls. Economic collapse. Bankrupt. Really shouldn't have read that Necronomicon. Finite power with cursed verbs. We were just chanting, chatting vocally to get an understanding, so I'm sorry. Must have been a misunderstanding. Leave me here in the mist under someone standing. I won't be missed pondering something someone else sold. I don't grow beans to climb a tree. I'm not looking for no goose to lay no golden egg, just to stand and wave as you go about your day, huh? Small breeze with a rain view, with little dreams and a can do. A whole world full of miles, but I can't choose. Dollars in my pocket, but I'm broke too. Hope in my head without a breakthrough. Stepped as a lad, now I'm a man, dude. Throwing pocket chains at problems like a gun do. Holding all the pain above my throat. Every single soul I heard is probably dead now. In their head, I'm probably dead too. Yeah, dead too. Feeling like I'm chained down. Big fucking swan. What's the change do? Take a fucking dive, but I'm stuck, dude. Feeling like a swan out of water. Like an ugly fucking duckling turned into a monster.
Ooh, god damn, bro. Yo, that rhyme scheme goes hard. Especially the hook. Especially the fucking hook. Bro, I can tell you wrote that to a beat, right? Was that written a cappella? That wasn't written to a beat?
That one's a cappella. They don't have
God
no music.
damn, bro. Fuck yeah, dude. That is amazing. For that flow and technique and rhythm, and then to rework the hook a few times without a beat like you did with that flow and cadence and rhythm, fucking amazing, dude. You made me feel like there like there should have been a beat, like there was a beat, like the bit, like not like the beat was the only thing missing, because like there was nothing missing from that performance whatsoever. That held up on its own. I want to make that 100% clear, that held up on its own. But I felt because of the flow and the rhythm and how precise you were with the cadence and the rhyme scheme and where your syllables fell, um it felt like it was written to a beat, and the fact that you did that without a beat is fucking fantastic, dude. Amazing. And um I appreciate that too, because like I write all of my stuff without a beat. So I am someone who has to, and there are two reasons I do that. There's one reason, and the main reason is because I can't afford fucking beats. I'm a broke bitch, and I'm very like particular in the fucking beat that I want. So I can't afford to have somebody make me a beat. So I don't want to get a beat off YouTube, get attached to it, and then not be able to use it because I can't buy it. Right? So that's the first reason. And the second reason is I figured that it would make me better. And I feel like it has. And I feel like it has for you too. And I've seen your progression. I have been one of the people who is lucky enough to see your progression for the last year and a half. And I think we've had this discussion before. Writing a cappella really, really does something for your ability to write cadence and flow. It really forces you into those pockets. You know what I mean? If not into those pockets, it forces you to create your own pockets because there are no pockets to fit into. You get what I mean? Like when you're rapping to a beat, your syllables and your rhyme scheme is falling into certain pockets of the beat where the snare or the drum drops, whatever it is. You're timing your syllables on that shit. When there is none of that shit to work with, it's all in your head, and you're forced to create your own rhythm and flow and flow pockets. And it's not an easy thing to do, but you do it very fucking well, dude. Very well. The other thing I really, really like, besides obviously your flow and your rhyme scheme as always, is this one felt a little like you were kind of like kind of attacking culture a little bit, maybe like maybe the government and then the media outlets. It felt a little like you were taking a few shots. Like there was
It's all metaphors.
the line about financial collapse and how can you, what is it you said, how can you run a business if you're not keeping the ledgers or whatever. It felt like you were taking some shots. Were you taking any shots?
No, actually. Okay, so
No?
my how I manage. Okay, my brain space how I manage is like a town or a city. Where buildings fall and they get rebuilt stronger depending on how they fall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
no, and
anytime I'm
yeah.
mentioning a city, I'm talking about my brain space. So the whole thing, how do we keep a business that the ledger isn't kept? How do you stay together if you can't keep it written down? Like if you can't keep it together, how do you keep it together? How do you run the
Right.
business?
And yeah, no, I did get the symbolism of like as far as treating your mind and your mental space like a business. But yeah, it also to me it had if it had some rings of truth to our own society, and it kind of reminded me of like and this kind of feeds into your own mental health as well. It's kind of this vicious circle. Um what it kind of made me feel like is you know that feeling when you fucking like open your phone in the morning, but you just know like there's nothing good on there. There's nothing good for you to fucking see. It's all going to be bad news. You know, and that in turn is just going to be like create this mental storm in your head. And it felt it and it's interesting that you didn't like purposely work those points in there, and that how I just, because I love that how art can just be interpreted a way that the artist didn't even mean to, but end up making sense anyway. Um, but anyway, the third thing I wanted to say about it, man, is it really like it hit home for me. Like especially today, like it, you know, being in that space where it's just like you wake up kind of and you just feel like nope, nope, today is just bad news. Today is all like I can't think of a positive fucking thing. Everything someone says to me, everything I see, every time, everything I think is just like I find some way to make it negative. You ever feel like that?
Yeah, dude.
And
Sometimes, but I want it to be a glass half full of whiskey. Sometimes it's a glass half empty.
hey, listen, man, if it's if it's half full of whiskey, it's still half full of poison. So you're you're losing either way. But yeah. But no, I mean, and so today I had, and this sounds like really stupid when I say it out loud, but I had a bad dream, and it was more than like a bad dream, right? It was like, so I was in like juvenile detention centers and like and stuff and lockup when I was, pretty much between the ages of like 10 and 18, in and out. And like every once in a while I still have dreams about like, we're putting you back in where you're getting locked up again. I have every couple weeks I have that dream. And like, I don't know, last night's was just like a really, really intense one for some reason. I woke up and I was just like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get through today. I don't like it just brought such just like dark cloud over me of just like, dude, everything is bad news. Everything is just, and then dude, I literally fucking turned on my phone like I was just saying. I turned on my phone and immediately popped up. It said, "Did you stay at one of these centers when you were a child? Were you abused at one of these centers? You may be entitled to compensate." And I was like, and it literally named one of the fucking places that I was at, and I was like, this is just not my day, man. Not today. Not today. Not today. I mean, I guess that's technically good news. I could be entitled to compensation. I'm sure you guys have seen the ads for YDC and like Mount Prospect Academy and all these places. They're all getting sued by the state because they're abusive as fuck. But yeah, no, yeah, man. Today, and I think that's part of why I invited you on specifically, is because like I just needed someone who who got it. You know what I mean? Like I always know that you get it, and I can feel in your pieces that you get it. Like what it's like to just wake up and just be like this is not.
It's
You
not
know
the
what I
day.
mean?
Maybe
Yeah.
it's not the day of the day. That's not that day.
Mm.
That's
But anyway, enough of my sorrows. Just I did want to say that it connected with me, and all your pieces like really connect with me, especially when I'm having a tough day. And I really appreciate you being on here, and like it makes me feel better about myself for sure. Always.
always, man. And I appreciate the feedback as always.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I'm gonna bring these other guests up and see what they thought about it real quick. Do 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 do. Um. All right. Sonia, what did you think?
I actually picked up on the same thing that you did. I thought, like, with the political view, you had a line in there that said throwing pocket change at problems. And I was watching a movie just the other day, and they were like portraying America, and these Americans saw this little foreign kid get beat up, and they, instead of, doing something about it, they handed him a few dollars, and that was that. And that's what I picked up on, is throwing pocket change at problems.
Mm, like fucking giving people in Hawaii $700 when their entire fucking everything just got destroyed and
Yes,
obliterated by natural causes.
so they say.
That's a whole nother podcast though. But yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Robin, are you still with us?
But like, even though that you didn't, mean it like that, like Dylan said, that's the thing about art, is it's open to interpretation.
I'm all open to interpretation. It's always cool to know like the other perspectives. That's always a neat little thing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Sam, what did you think?
Um, I I connect with it because I tend to only write when it's something negative. Like when I have 3 children and I couldn't write anything after I gave birth. But let something irk me or be difficult, I'm writing all day. So I really like your energy. I really love um how you let it out. I really liked it.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. As always, fantastic piece. All right. Thank you. And with that being said, our final guest of the night, um, Miss Samantha, our newest guest to the circle. So, first of all, Sam, welcome to the family and the community. And we hope to have you back many, many times. Samantha Hart is a poet and an MC. Geez, I almost lost my voice there. She's a poet and an MC. You guys can follow her on Facebook at Samantha Hart and go to her YouTube channel, Real Estate Samantha. And I'm going to play her flyer for you guys and get her up here. Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Well, welcome. It is good to have you. We appreciate you coming on. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. Yeah, welcome.
I have. I have.
Awesome.
It's a nice atmosphere. I'm really enjoying myself.
Good, good. Yeah, that's the goal here. You know, I try to make it feel like, just friends hanging out in the living room, and to make myself feel that way, I get my comfiest chair, and I invite my best friend Brandon over to help me with the show, and so I'm just chilling in my living room. So it's kind of the vibe I try to bring with everybody else. So yeah, because that to me is like the best place. I mentioned Eminem one too many times, but Eminem once said, "I'm only giving you things you joke about with your friends inside your living room," and I think that's too very true. Like the most deepest parts of you and the most expressive parts of you always come out late at night when you're sitting hanging out with your friends. Always, something about the human brain. Whenever you're hanging out with your friends late at night, that's when the deepest parts of you come out, and I feel like that's the most expressive, the time to be most expressive and let yourself be yourself. So
Yeah. I
well,
prefer to be alone. Like, I don't know, it's something about me just being alone in a corner somewhere in the dark with a pen and a pad and a
yeah, no, yeah,
beat.
when writing, absolutely, writing for sure. No, I just mean like as far as being able to express and vent those feelings outward into the world. It's there it's an empowering feeling getting them out onto paper and creating something that you're like, wow, I created this thing of beauty, or I created this amazing piece or whatever. And then to be able to get out there and I know you had told me that you're just starting to do this, but getting out there and sharing with other people is just it is such another level experience, such a spiritual experience. And like before, a year and a half ago, before I started the show, I didn't put any of my stuff out. Like I had nobody even knew who I was. Like nobody. I live in a fucking town with like 900 people. Nobody. So, but I appreciate you being like taking. It takes bravery though. It takes courage to be able to take that step and do that. So I appreciate you taking that step and having that bravery to come on and share.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna do 2 pieces. I don't know about the second piece, um, but I definitely want to share.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it's a concern of time, then you can do them both back to back if you would like to.
Okay.
If it's not a concern
Um,
of time, then by all means you can only do one. It's it's your prerogative. Just if you want to cut down on time and you got to leave early or whatever, you're free to do them both back to back.
Well, I'm gonna be coming on as a regular, so
Good,
I'm not
good.
concerned about
I'm
having
really
to
glad to
do
hear
two.
that. I'm really glad to hear that. Awesome. All right. So before we get into your first piece, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got here, I guess.
Okay. Um, uh, I am 38 years old. I started writing when I was like 12, 13, writing poems, and then I started writing raps and songs. And as a kid, I didn't think it was, I thought it was a big deal, like on a kid level. But then I just kept writing all my life. So I'm like, no, this is me. This is something that I am an artist. I really am. Um, so, um, and I write for me, but like you were saying earlier, some things um, are meant for others too. So I'm trying to figure out what pieces of mine fit for others. Like, um, so that's why I'm that second piece. I don't know if that's really like for others or if that was just, I don't know if that's gonna hit y'all like it hits me because I wrote it. So I don't know. Um, but the piece that I do want to share, um, I'm in this app called Rap Fame, and they have like weekly contests. They'll give a title, and one title was No Regrets. And then I wrote this piece. It's just a piece of my life. And usually I can't express myself like if I'm just talking to somebody, but you give me time to write it down, and then I can really channel my feelings and get it out. Because you, especially when you're angry, you can't take words back. So I really like to take my time and really write how I feel, even if it's something not so nice, but it has to be said. So I like to really take my time and write. And then not only do I write about myself, I'm a real estate agent, and so I write about real estate. So
That's
that's
interesting. That
my
is,
second heart.
I like that. That is, I have never quite heard anything that unique. So what? I'm curious, what aspects of like real estate do you write about? Do you write about like what it's like to show people houses, or do you write about the more like technical, like financial part of it? Like what aspect interests you to write about?
I've written about both of those parts. Um, First, it started when I was studying for the exam, and I'm not a great test taker, so it was not fun. So I needed to make it fun. So I started playing instrumentals while I was reviewing my notes. So then I made songs about my notes that was simple and concise, so I could remember the songs while I was taking the exam and help me pass.
Nah, that is fucking that's smart. That is really fucking smart.
So
That is
actually,
actually
my second piece, I actually could do a real estate, um, something about real estate maybe. But then once I became a real estate agent, I'm like, well, I'm a writer, so why not make some jingles that could be for advertising to get more business? So I just write about real estate in both ways.
nice. Well, I will give you just and take this or leave this, as you will, but I will give you a little bit of advice. Um, you never know exactly what your best song is going to be to other people. And like an artist, like okay, a hit single, right? They may think, right, oh, this one's definitely going to be the single of the album, and then their producers or whoever gets in the room and like, nah, dude, listen, this one is the one that's really going to like go boom with the public. You know what I mean? So while you are the best judge of your own character and your own art, you never quite know how a piece is going to impact other people, and it might be that a piece that you never even thought in a million years could like apply to anyone else ends up relating to hundreds of people and ends up being like a smash hit. And I've heard so many different interviews with so many song artists that are like, some of the biggest songs in history were like one-offs that they wrote in like half an hour that they didn't think would be anything, and then they end up being like smash Billboard fucking hits. So you never know when something like that's gonna come along. So I just encourage you to just to show everything that you're like, not, there's some things that you keep to yourself. Like I have some things in my journal that'll never see the day, like daylight, and they're just for me, and there are those things. But anything you are comfortable taking out of that notebook and sharing with the world, you should. And roll the dice, take the chance, because you never know what people are gonna like. And that's just take it or leave it. That is for the future. But yeah.
It's crazy you say that because when I'm in my comfort zone, my favorite topic is sex. And I can literally write about that all day, every day. But I can't, like, sharing that, people judge you, so then I'm not as quick to share those pieces. So then that's how I channel my writing about other things, and because I know I can write about other things, I just prefer to write about that.
You know what I'll actually say, and that I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a perfect example. So one of the biggest poetry communities on the internet right now, as far as Facebook and Instagram right now, and there's many award-winning poets on there who have actually won like nationwide awards and stuff. But my man Pawcram is a member of the honey, what I think it's called the Honey Drippers, Brendan. Yeah. It's called the Honey Drippers, and they are a group of strictly erotic poets. And when I tell you they are some of the most amazing fucking poets I have ever heard in my life, I am not joking. My man Pawcram, who I mentioned a second ago, he's been on the show a couple times, and he has done mostly erotic poetry and is killed every time. There's a way to do it, and me and him have had that conversation. Me and him have had the conversation of like, there is a difference between erotic poetry and word porn. Like, there is a difference, and there is an elegant way to write it, and I think that it's more accepted, especially in 2024, than you might think. I think that people and I think that also, see, part of what like attracts people to the stuff that I write is because I write about dark parts of reality that we don't want to talk about, our personal demons, the fucked up shit that's going on in my life and in society that people don't talk about. And I think that sex appeals to people in that same way, in that we don't talk about it. It's not, but it's becoming more and more accepted. And I think, especially through art and poetry, that is the best place to make it more comfortable to speak about. Like, see, I grew up with now I do have a relationship with my father, but I grew up with a single mother, and they were divorced. I didn't see my dad much until later in life. But and she was also a LNA, a licensed nursing assistant. So she was very like comfortable talking, like teaching me, because I didn't have a father, and like having that. So I became as very like integrated in society in a way that like I thought it was comfortable. And then I learned that like not everybody is as comfortable talking about sex as I am, you know? So maybe I'm the wrong person to give you perspective on that, but I would encourage you to go check out Honey Drippers. I'll send you some links. And I'd love to get you in touch with my man Pawcram, because he writes some of the best erotic poetry I've ever heard, and best poetry I've ever heard, period. So there's a place for it. Trust me, there's a place for it, and people do like it.
Okay.
And that's from my year and a half, 2 years of experience being in the poetry community here is that that's actually a very big facet of a lot of people's poetry, believe it or not. You'd be
I
surprised.
know it's a thing. Like, I mean, I just know, like, with the music, people love the nasty songs. But the way people take it in, I think it's that judgment. Like, you hear me sing a nasty song and then you hear me sing a real estate song, you really don't know what type of person I am. I don't know. It's just I'm trying to figure out how to show all sides of me through my art. So it's just kind of weird, like how, because I just write about so much stuff.
Yeah, and that's a hard battle too, and I find myself fighting that battle too because it's like there's a lot of stuff I want to say about our society, and like I've during this show even I've thrown a couple hits at the government, about Hawaii and shit like that, and there's things I want to say politically, and there's things um I really I kind of try to stay away from religion, especially even in my writing, unless I'm like making like a metaphor, or like I'm using like Adam and Eve or the rib of Adam as like a metaphor for something. Like I try to stay away from like religion in general, but there's a lot of stuff I'd like to say politically, and there's a lot of opinions I like to voice, but most of the shit I write is deep introspective stuff about my own feelings, my own personal thoughts. And because that's also what I have found that a lot of people connect with, a lot of people like to hear. I start spouting my mouth off about fucking North Korea, God knows what's going to happen, so I find myself in that kind of like, oh shit, do I just play it safe and give the people what they want, or do like I give them a little bit more? And lately I've been trying to work like some of my political opinions or some of my worldviews or whatever into my introspective pieces to kind of like give me like a starting ground. Like, okay, people are seeing a little bit of this from me, so now when I make a whole piece about it, they might be like actually expecting it. They might not be so surprised, but yeah, I find that as a hard battle that I struggle with as well.
Yeah, well, you'll learn on my side. So like I said, I'll be back. You're stuck with me.
Hell yeah, I really like that. I love whenever I get a new guest on and immediately I know like this is gonna be a long-term fucking reoccurring guest. And believe it or not, most of the people I bring on here is like that. I mean, it's so amazing how like I meet new people all the time and immediately they just feel accepted in this community. And they just the second I start talking to them, I feel like I've known them for way longer. And it's just an interesting, like, it's something about the energy of the show and the way we congregate and just like whatever, that it's just like it makes us all kind of feel comfortable. And I really like that when someone new just comes in and immediately just feels like at home. So thank you for being here. So anyway, this piece that you're gonna do, this first piece, what is it called?
No Regrets, Baby Daddy.
Oh, all right. This is the recording that I'm gonna play. All right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna actually get us both out of here, and I'll play the recording, and I'll bring you up afterward.
caught, had to come clean. He was so steamed, then it didn't matter. My belly getting fatter. Had his name literally tatted on my punani. This nigga really thought that he couldn't hold me. Since I was young, see, I could be what he wanted me to be. Now he must have forgot. Left my mama house, doing the opposite, but let's not cap. It's no regret, but I went through a lot. Him peeing on me every time he took them shots. How embarrassing with friends and family on the couch. Flipping the mattress to cover up the pissy spots. That's how we live it? Nah, I'd rather not. My karma came back around, turned up a notch. This nigga was comfortable living at the bottom. This nigga will self-destruct if you give him the lighter. I got the hell up out of there, y'all. I did try to love him though. He a deadbeat now, so I really don't give a fuck. He makes me sick, actually squeamish to the touch. No regrets. But sometimes I wonder. Nah, no regrets.
I fucking love that. That was amazing. And yo, I fuck with that beat so much that fucking haunting the haunting girl female vocals in the back. I love that. That adds such a fucking like such a vibe to the song and really fucking wraps it up and ties it all together. But your flow and like your flow and your rhyme scheme, it feels like an old 90s jam. You know, it doesn't feel like it was made in the 2000s, and that's a compliment because I think some of the best hip hop ever made was made in the 90s. And yeah, no, it definitely has that old school like, and everything down to the production of, because you know one of the big things that hip hop does is sampling like haunting female vocals like that. That's like a staple of hip hop, and that was fantastic. And then the way, and I was talking to Caleb a little bit about this earlier about finding the pockets in certain beats where the drum drops and where you fit your syllables in between it, and you did that elegantly and excellently. Very, very well timed, and the cadence was very precise and just, but it, like, again, it was slow, it was measured, it was, you know, it was Biggie, it was like a, you know, old school fucking, you
One
know,
of my coworkers said, "Oh, it sounds like TLC."
shit. Yeah, no, I mean, it felt more like oh god, who does dance, Brandon, who does Dance with the Devil? Do you remember who or Immortal Technique? That's it, Immortal Technique. I don't know if you've ever heard Immortal Technique, Dance with the Devil, which is a much darker and much more fucked up song, I will admit, but the cadence, the flow, and the production of the beat had that same kind of feeling to it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely go check out Immortal Technique, Dance with the Devil. But yeah, that very just measured cadence, and the way that it worked in with how you you know, your flow patterns and the pockets you fit into, it made it that much more haunting and that much more like kind of visceral. You know, it made you feel your situation and the shit that you went through and your aggravation. And I really love at the end, there's also, again, another thing that made it feel like an old 90s track, because it kind of like, when the beat slows down, you like come in for a minute, you just talking like, and listen, y'all, I got the fuck up out of there, y'all. Like, he was no good. He was a piece of fucking, I got the fuck up out of there, ladies. Let me tell you, you know, I love how you, and then the beat just like trails off, and just no regrets, and elegant fucking production. Elegant production, elegant execution, start to finish. I fucking loved it. Amazing.
Thank you.
and it felt very healing. It felt like a fucking, we have a saying on the show that one of our other guests came up with, and it's called on me. Can we get the hashtag on me up here, please? So what on me means is everything that you do at the end of the day, it's on you. It's on you, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because it gives you the ability to take your own power and keep your own power and exercise your own power. And if that felt like a very on me moment, you know, it felt like a moment where you're taking back your own power and you're saying, this is who I am and fuck that guy. And, you know, I'm going to live my life, you know, the best that I can live it. And I'm not going to let anybody take that away from me. So that was a very on me moment. And so you get the on me badge of honor for the night. I love that, man. That was
Yay.
fantastic. Fantastic. I love that. I'm going to bring, I think we lost Robin, but I'm going to bring Tasanya and Caleb up here to see what they thought.
Dude, I only caught the beginning of it because I ended up lagging out. But what I did hear, I'll tell you what, looking at you and then trying to connect that song together, there at the beginning, it threw me the fuck off. I was like, there ain't no way. This appearance of a shy girl is just spitting bars right now. And then I disconnected. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I didn't get to hear a whole bunch of it, but it threw me off guard. It was good. It was definitely good. I just didn't get to hear it all. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's why this is recorded, and you can go back and watch it anytime on the Lost Boys YouTube channel under the live section. That's a shameless plug. Tasanya, what did you think?
I always have a problem hearing between lyrics and music, so I can't hear the lyrics, but I like the beat.
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to send you the recording myself and see if you can get a better listen at it when you get a moment.
Okay.
But yeah. And yeah, dude, I can't even tell you how much I love that beat. I can't even tell you how much I love that beat. Like, I want to buy that beat. That is a fucking. I could do so much shit with that beat. That is so good. That is, you picked.
You make your own beat?
No, I got it from off of the app Rap Fame, but the person that made it, they have it on YouTube. I can't think of his name right now, but yes, it is. Oh shoot. I'll find it and let you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have one piece that I have written to a beat, and that I found this beat on YouTube, and this guy, his name's DJ Ray. He goes by DJ Ray, and I found this beat on YouTube, or I found this guy actually when I was like 12 or 13, and then when I was in lockup, I started turning a lot of my poetry. Stopped writing fantasy because I didn't have a computer, and in order to write stories, for some reason I need a laptop and not a fucking. I can't write stories on a pen and pad. So I started writing a lot of poetry and a lot of raps, especially raps, because it made me feel self-empowered in a place where there was a lot of bullying and just, you know, you put teenage boys together, you guys, I'm sure you guys know what happens. So it made me feel empowered. So I started writing a lot of rap. And there's one song, and I found the beat to it on DJ Ray's YouTube. And I wrote this song, I was like 15 to this beat. And then I messaged him, Brandon, like 6 months ago. And I was like, hey man, I've been following you for like almost 10 years now. I found this beat. I wrote a song to it. Is there any way that I can buy this beat from you? Like, do you sell? And he was like, he hit me. I wasn't expecting a message back at all. Like, somebody you've been following for 10 years, you don't expect them to, you know, message you back. He messaged me the next day with the link to his website. And I got what's called an inexclusive contract, which means I can use it for a limited amount of things, but my limited amount is 1 million. I can do 1 million streams, 1 million physical copies, and 1 million downloads before I have to contact him again and do another contract. But I can use that song and make money off of it for a million times. Actually, if I sell all the downloads, all the physical copies, and all the streams, I can make 3 million times what it's on that song before I have to renew the contract. And I was just like a blessing to find. But that is literally the one fucking song I have to a beat. Um, I I want to get beats so bad. I want to get on beats so bad because like I hear you and Caleb on his fucking flyer, and like when you guys get on beats, like there's something about being like having that music flowing behind you that just like it has such a deep impact. It gives it more fucking like oomph, you know?
Yeah.
Gives
But
it
I
more
get
oomph.
what you're saying. The beats, it changes how you feel about the song on how you can release it and all that. So
Absolutely.
it does make it kind of difficult. You get all excited about writing to a beat and then you got to figure out how you can use it. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
I say I'll
Yeah.
figure if I start making money off of it, I'll figure that out when I get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it was and for me it was less a thing of like being able to make money off of it and just a thing of being able to like use that beat and call it my own, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Use that beat because I am not like I'm never I very much disapprove of ghostwriters and it's not listen, people, you do what you got to do to make money. A lot of people write songs for other people. I'm not opposed to writing songs for other people, but the other way around, like I will never have a ghostwriter. I will never have anyone because I think that it's very important for artists to express their own work. And you know what I mean? So I have a hard time like, you know, real like, you know, doing anything that's not mine or you know, anything like that. So it's like, um, I completely lost my train of thought where I was going with that actually. But anyway, yeah, I just I think that with a beat you can make more of an impact and it's kind of a shame that I've like at this point I've forced myself to kind of like write without beats because now I'm seeing a lot of especially a lot of the artists I bring on the show like they showing me all their songs that they have with beats and how fucking amazing they are. I'm just so jealous. Just I'm so jealous of you guys and your fucking production and everything you're doing. So but yeah, I really appreciate you sharing that with us and I appreciate you being on. And if that's the only piece you want to share tonight, by all means.
Yeah, it will be.
If you can stick around till the end of the show, stick around. But if you got to get going, we understand. We're gonna get to Sonia's piece real quick, and then we'll see if Caleb pops back in here. He might have had something going on, but then we will get up out of here. So I will catch you in a minute. All right. Sorry. Tasania, what do you have for us next?
Okay, so this poem is called Inside of Me, and I did a art piece to go with it.
All right.
And so I will
Well,
try to figure out how to put the art piece up on the screen.
all right. Well, actually, if you, I mean, do you have it? You can just, you can show it to us. That's fine.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, by all means. Um,
Yeah. Let me see.
there we go. Yeah. Yeah. If you, yeah, by all means, just,
That's not my standard. I'll figure out how to turn my camera around. I don't know how to do that. No. I'm trying to figure out how to turn my camera angle around. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. Can you, is that showing the art piece or is that showing me? Can you see? I don't think so. Can you see it? Not really. Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you. I sorry, I was muted. Turn it a little bit to go back and face it again. All right, yeah, right there. I can see it.
You can see it?
Yep. So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so
Obviously
I
there's
did the art piece, and I mean, I don't even really know what to say about it. Like I said, I did it when I wrote the poem. Oh, I wrote the poem first and did the art piece after. I wrote the poem and then went back through and reread it and did the art to go with it. And it was for a art exhibit that I went to here at the library.
I really like it. I have you. I don't know if you've met Skedaddle yet. She's on here
Uh
once in
huh.
a while. She's like our resident artist. She would really dig that. I'm gonna have to. You know what? Actually, when we get done with this, you're gonna have to send me a picture of that so I can send
I
that over to
will.
her and show her. Yeah, that's really dope and really intricate. What is that done on? What type of material is that? Is that a canvas?
It's just a canvas.
Oh,
Hmm.
nice. Okay, and so was it white and you painted it black, or was it like a white, or was it black canvas?
No, it was white and I painted it black.
Wow, so that's I mean right there, that's a lot of fucking detail and work, like and commitment to like, all right, this whole background needs to be black, and then I also need to do the
Yeah,
piece.
because you know, on a
Um,
black background, colors are gonna pop better.
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I love what you did there. Um, and especially with colors. I like how you mentioned colors because it is very vibrant, very colorful, and just very intricate too. Are those
As I
snakes?
read it, I'm trying. Uh huh. There's snakes. Can you see? I'm gonna go like this so you can see all of it. You see, there's words.
I really fuck with the snakes. The snakes are dope. Oh, that's sick. I didn't even see the one at the bottom. Nice. That's cool. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like how colorful and vibrant it is. And it feels like a picture in like a folklore kind of book that's
Yeah, I know
like
what you're talking about.
a scene out of like a folklore kind of book. But yeah, it's I love it. I love it. So this piece that you have that goes with it, if you want, you can tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, the theme was, well, the theme I chose was teenage suicide is what it was.
Hmm.
And so I'm just gonna read it.
Yeah. Yeah, by all means.
Okay. It's called Inside of Me. It's dark in here, inside my mind. I try to find light, but all I see is an inky blackness. Voices whisper to me, their lies attaching like mosquitoes in the summer, searching for their next meal, twisting around my body like a snake, coiled up, ready to strike. My heart is heavy with the weight of perfection. My heart is heavy with the weight of perfection never attained. Be pretty, be smart, be normal, have friends, be cool. I'm not. Will I ever be? Maybe in the next life. If I could fly away, I would. A caged bird dying to be set free. Sing my song when I'm gone. Will I matter then? I tried to hold on. I really did. But the hate of others is stronger than my words. Irrelevant, cries unheard, a trip in the hallway, fingers pointed like guns, their laughter the bullet to my head. Tears fall and tears fall and shatter, broken pieces of me on the floor, razor sharp. Numb me, please. A scream escapes my throat. No one hears. Was it only in my head? Have I gotten so used to not being heard that I no longer speak? Am I but a ghost, an afterthought? Silent tears fall, as loud as a bass drum, the rhythm but an echo of pain. Release me, a life lost, no children to hold. No lovers to love, no heartbeats no heartbeats to listen to, head on chest, missed sunrises and sunsets, wedding bells unrung, favorite songs unsung, pieces of truths glued together with lies, thresholds never crossed, tears of joy unshed, the darkness settles around me, a blanket of fear. I wonder where the light is that I thought that I would find here.
Damn, that was very raw, very emotional. I really loved how raw and emotional it was, and just I've been saying it all night. You know, I just the best part about this for me is when someone feels comfortable enough to come on here and be their true selves and be that raw and expressive and emotional. And also I've been saying it all night, but that is the best kind of art for me. Is the type of art that reaches out and touches you and makes you feel that raw emotion. And you know, while that was, I guess some may say, a sad piece, it was also in a way, um, it made me feel some kind of strength. And because I am somebody who has fought with suicidal thoughts, and I know a lot of my
Hmm.
friends who fought through with suicidal thoughts, and I know friends who have lost that battle. And you know, to see you come on here and be that raw and emotional, expressive, but to know that you're here and you're the very fact that you're here speaks all the words that it needs to. You know, the very fact that you're here to read that poem is what's so empowering about it.
The fact that I
So
was here to write the poem in the first place.
absolutely, absolutely. And so I can't thank you enough for having the courage to, first of all, be here. Second of all, write that, and third of all, share it with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. I'm gonna bring. I think Sam had to go, but I'm gonna bring Caleb up. What'd you think, man?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a nice little, like, I don't know. There's always like, I'm into darker type stuff, so things that are pretty graphic, right? Things that like put out that imagery that makes me be like, ooh, right? That's what I'd be looking for whenever I'm like listening to pieces that are like dark, because I don't know, I'm just into, I don't know, the darkness that people have, I guess, like the wickedness
Hmm.
that comes out of people through writing, and it's crazy. It's like Edgar Allan Poe. It's kind of what it was like.
Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, I like that. And yeah, Edgar Allan Poe is
I
definitely,
love
I know,
Edgar.
for you to Caleb. Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe is one of my, like, I would say, like, idols, or one of my inspirations, for sure. And that definitely had, like, that raw, dark, emotional side of his pieces. So yeah, I really loved it. That was fucking amazing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being here. Thank you for being on the show. And we can't wait to have you back again. Caleb, you're gonna end us off here. What you got for us?
I got a poem this time.
Ooh, a poem. You're gonna specifically calling it a poem and not a rap. I am interested because
It's called
a lot of your raps are very poetic, and especially since you do them a cappella, it might be hard to tell the difference. But the fact that you are specifically calling this a poem, makes me intrigued right off the bat. So
it's called and it's called Poetic Death.
poetic death. All right. I like this. I'm gonna get myself out of here and let you get to.
Every step I try to take is backwards, like I run with no mistakes. So how come every time I make progression, life seems to play this game where I'm the monster at a stake? Awake in a dream I cannot take. I lie so peaceful that this heart stops and takes a break. So I withdraw because death always seems to find its way. I'm blind today and deaf tomorrow. Right away I cannot see the path less followed, so I hear the footsteps as they walk and fade in empty space. So as I go and go, the sun comes up and I lose my way because I'm deaf today and blind tomorrow. fucking feel my sorrow. Blades cut away the bone I left for birds to peck the crazed. I'm fucking living life like a branded fucking slave. You can't hear the words I cry as I weep away this pain. Fuck the world as it breaks and chips these fucking pieces out my brain. I'm insane but broken, and it's all the fucking same. You see the smile pasted on, turn upside down and see the frown. See the hate I've washed away for you to see this ugly face that I portray. I braced to see the day, yet here I lay still frozen in my place, this pedestal of ridicule, ridiculous the size of my ridicule. I taste it like Listerine, that flavor sticks, and like the aftertaste, it's always there till it's washed the fuck away. I scream in poetry as I rest between the concrete and the scythe the devil sent for me. Like, death is simply just a sleeping dream, simply just the weakness in our fucking seams. And if I had a day to live beside myself, I'd preach my wicked strands of glee. I would show it in the fabric of my being, like, watch boy, watch how great you could fucking be. Cause every step I try to take is backwards, like I'm rolling no mistakes. So how come every time I make progression, life seems to play this game where I'm the monster at its stake, where I'm the hate behind a husk. Crack me open till all that's left is dust. Remember, breathe, inhale the poison of my rust. The sweat I left behind to give your corpse the strength to rot under this pedestal of ridicule. It's ridiculous, the size of my ridicule. I taste the Listerine, that flavor sticks, and like the aftertaste, it's always there till it's washed the fuck away. Repeated like that repetition has history in full motion, circle broken like it's insanity by definition. Broken recollection reverberate off my concussion as I slam my fucking skull against the wall. I bleed and smile like the thought was the same all along. The harder it hits, the more my vision seems to shift, like the darkness of this sight I see, till death claims the soul that I'm determined to keep, reap internally. I seek control over my intensities. I leap boundaries, so who the fuck's gonna stop me? My words are like sheep, believe me, I've said it before, that I'm a shepherd harvesting wool to wear. This vocabulary is a warning, not a contingency. Just try to fucking stop me, and see how death flows out of me and into you, until you feel those ball bearings torn from the fucking sockets and knock your brain loose. I'm arrested with bleak thoughts that reek of bland fruits. I eat but fill off the poison derived from my plant's roots. Revive like an angel that's born into a phoenix from God's troops. It's like war that's over, yet the remains are ashes, still sent to destroy hope. Still bent to deploy ropes and chairs for hanging so close to the fucking air, just dangling there, cause the sense to cope is no longer fair. Broken fuses meant to electrocute my chair. A death penalty, but I smile as I smell the burnt hair. Released from the cages, I've been ravaged enough that it's okay to accept the fire as it burns the cells. The brain bleeds and the crimson litter explodes out of the ear. Fear not, the emotions will settle once I've deemed death is no longer shedding his tears. Fuck the scythe, I'd rather become the butcher. Snatch the weapon and watch as I rip into the flesh of a broken man, a token of gratitude like he deserved to fear. Like he reserved the thought to care, yet he preserved the anger, and now he's not the man to leer. Here's a pause in time as I repeat the crime. Every step I try to take is backwards like a rolling no mistakes, so how come every time I make progression, life seems to play this game where I'm the monster at its stake? Awake in a dream I cannot take. I lie so peaceful that this heart stops and takes a break, so I withdraw, cause after that, death always seems to find his way, but always seems afraid to show. So, O death, where art thou amid sacred oath? Where art thou in humble beginnings? Where art thou when a frown between tears holds tightly, and when God's grasp holds me lightly? That instance of fear, that moment thou can just squeeze and existence halts. Where art thou within poetic death? I reap benefits from the rot my brain has fucking left. I'm bruised and hurt, and I feel as though thou hast forgone to claim his soul. That's blatant disrespect, so fuck you, death. I'm worthy of your scythe, not to be slain, but to wield and take your place. Whoa. I'm feeling lost in the thought. Whoa. 1,000,000 frames per second I see. I told you repetition is key. Whoa. I'm stuck in a loop per second erected. I elected each minute projected, and per hour I'm connected. Devour commitment and I'm enhancing contentment. The only selection that you are gifted every second per minute per hour committed. For every time that I loop, I feel that repentance. God, you know I'm a menace. Smite me with bullets and light me on fire and watch me revolt. Whoa. I'm deaf today but blind tomorrow. Fucking feel my sorrow. I weep before I fall, and when I fall I destroy the life I've grown. Fuck the world, I'm bland today with nasty fruit. I end the day, this poetic death you should fear when you approach my tree. See, these words you couldn't even read. Locked in there for a second, dude.
God damn, bro. God damn, you were locked in. You were fucking hair trigger locked in. That shit was fucking crazy, bro. And I see what you mean. That shit was literally a whole like compendium of your greatest hits. It was like a compendium of your greatest fucking hits, like everything rolled into one that you've done. Like I had so many fucking callbacks from all your past shit, like just telling this fucking epic story. And I love, dude, I love that fucking. Okay, so first of all, there were actually multiple hooks in this song, which was crazy, but it fit because you kept doing the repetition line and like rounding it off and then reworking the repetition, like you reworked the repetition line like 3 or 4 different times in that fucking and said it differently like 3 different times, and then also worked in that I'm stuck in this loop per second per minute oh my god, that fucking shit is what I've told you a million times. I'll tell you again. That is one of my favorite fucking rhyme schemes you've ever fucking written. I'm stuck in this loop per second, per minute, per hour, projected, second, projected. Oh my god, dude, I love that fucking rhyme scheme so much. You know. But yo, that hook, bro. I guess I'm blind today and deaf tomorrow. And then you said something about I can't see the path less traveled by. That line right at the beginning was fucking just that brought it right, like that brought it all like into like I see why you say it's a poem and not a rap, but I will say that actually that song actually probably has way more fucking F bombs than any of your raps do. You're like, feel my fucking sorrow, bitch. Feel it. Feel my sorrow.
Fucking feel my sorrow, dude.
I love the like intensity and aggression you put into that line. Like, fucking feel my sorrow. Like, fucking feel it, dude. Like, do you like and it's because there comes a certain point where like you get so tired of like you get so tired of like feeling like no one fucking can hear anything no matter how loud you scream, and like and that's why I always say at the beginning of every show, like, let that shit out, like talk to someone, like get an outlet, like have that outlet, because that's the worst part, is feeling like you're just screaming into the fucking thin air and nobody hears you. You're just screaming into the abyss, and you really like encapsulated that feeling so well. You really did. So yeah, I really fucking I love that piece, dude. That's like probably one of my favorites. I don't know. Have I even heard that piece before? Is that like new? Did you write more? Like what?
I've done it once before, way back, a couple episodes, like I think first season.
Because
Okay, I think I did it
I
once.
can't even tell what's new and what, because you have so many callbacks to your old shit, right? That it's like everything is like intertwined and it gets it like the lines get blurred between like what's written and what's being written. And like which is such a unique like thing that you do, bro. It's fucking dope.
The difference I when I first did it, I tried to rap it. This time, I read it like I wanted to like read poetry. You know what I'm saying? And then I hit my vape. I had a cigarette, and I've been hitting this pen this whole time to get my voice to be raspy, so I could read it like I was reading it. Okay. So I did a lot of setup. That's why I did that in that first song. Okay. I did that first song just for this one piece specifically so that you could see that I'm connecting a bunch of dots from a bunch of previous art. 'Cause I know you specifically would have caught on to that. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this will be fun. Let's see what happens. And I did that. And that song has so many references. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yo, and dude, I love what you I love and uh I love that like you're like purposely like trying to make your voice raspy, because um and I know you don't listen to a lot of MGK. I listen to a lot of MGK, especially like his newer shit. His like I don't know if you've heard like him singing lately, like Lonely Road with Jelly Roll. But that like raspy, like deep baritone that's like you can feel the thought and the emotion behind it. Um yeah, check out some of his newer stuff, but that's kind of like the vibe I've been trying to encapsulate lately. And like you really fucking you really hit that vibe. Like I don't know if you know if you remember my piece, Soapbox, but Soapbox was written. So there's this song he has called "Let Me Go," and dude, it's really one of my favorite fucking songs. Not just that he's written, but like one of my favorite songs right now. Period. Um, and like I just really tried to capture like the vibe and the emotion of like I don't know. He just has this like raspy voice vibe that I just like try so hard to capture that you do so much better than me. It's like yeah, it's like that fucking been up till fucking 3 a.m. smoking cigarettes voice, you know? Like the fucking
Yeah, exactly.
this is
Like
my this is like this is
I
my
was
fucking life. Fuck y'all. I'm fucking like that. Like that. What
oh
the
my
fuck,
god,
yo?
man.
And yeah, and
Dude,
like so like my soapbox piece, right? So it's supposed to right. So it's supposed to be like watch as I get in my soapbox again. Talk about darkness and talk about death. It's 4 a.m. and I ain't been to bed. I'm feeling like putting a gun to my head. The artist inside me says paint the walls red. I'm feeling this feeling of dread. I feel like I'm peeling my skin and my mess. And this really is just as real as it gets. You know what I mean? Like that, like slow, raspy, fucking. And like I really feel like you encapsulate that so much better than I do. But fucking, yeah, man. That's why I
it's
always
funny.
like writing with you and talking to you and shit because like you help me get better as an artist and like your techniques. Like I try to emulate a lot of the techniques that I'm not so good at that you do better than me.
I do that same thing because recently you be sending me little snippets, right? And I like the scheme that you're trying. So I'm trying to encapsulate that scheme and try to get like a new scheme going that I could work off of, and like in another song that I can do, right? Because you be putting words together differently, bro. I swear to God, like whenever you be spitting, right? Like I don't know,
Oh
you've
my
got like
god!
your end
Did I s-
schemes are so good.
did I send you? So I heard. So I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and I love Joe Rogan. Don't get me wrong, but he was kind of like poking fun at poets a little bit, right? He was poking fun at like I think he was saying something like, oh, when you're a teenager, everybody thinks they're a poet. They hear the word countenance in fucking Shakespeare one time, and they think they're a fucking poet. And I was like, oh yeah, countenance, bitch. Let's see what I can do with the word countenance. And he was, I just started like, did I send you that one? Like, I think I sent you like the beginning or like the part of what I had written. Oh yeah. It says, there's a frown upon my countenance. By the way, for those who don't know what countenance is, it's your face. Your countenance is your face. There's a frown upon my countenance. It's shadowed by the clouds that I am found within, dumbfounded by the hours spent, devoured by the darkness that I'm shrouded in. That was just like right off the top of my head. I was just like countenance. Let's see what I can do with that. And see with me, like I feel like yeah, I am always like it's the emotion, the you know I'm always writing for myself, writing for my emotion, writing to get my demons out, writing. But when I write, it's always like I am so hyper fixated on syllables. Like my brain, I think my brain like picks up syllables in a weird way, and I think it's partly because I've trained myself to write without beats. That so the way you most people don't know what a bar actually is, right? People say, "Oh, bars! Oh, that was a bar," right? And people think that a bar is any line. Like if I say something and then it's a metaphor, whatever, they think that's a bar. But what a bar actually is musically is a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. That's how you count bars. So when someone says they sent you a 16 bar verse, what should be happening is their lines or their setup and punchline should be falling somewhere in that 1, 2, 3, 4, or if they're or the 8 count, right? And that's also like in dancing, they go 5, 6, 7, 8. That's same count, same tempo, dun dun da da da, right? And I think my brain like naturally picks up on those. So I'm better at writing like multiple syllables. So when you say I put words together in a different way, I think that's what you mean is like this my syllable count and how many syllables on it, because that's really what I like. I'm so hyper fixated on that, and I think sometimes I'm too hyper fixated on it. You know, I think that sometimes I work myself into a corner where I'm trying so hard to like rhyme that I'm like not saying it as well as I could be saying it if I just let myself breathe a little bit, right? Your shit breathes. Like you let yourself, your rhyme schemes aren't as compact and dense as mine. Like, you know, like fucking there's a frown upon my countenance, shrouded by the clouds that I am found within, confounded by like it's the syllables are very, very compact, whereas you're rhyming the syllables, but you have way more externals than internals, and I'm all mostly internals and just compacted rhyme schemes, compacted syllables all the way through together. That's like you are more like hitting the rhyme schemes every other beat on that like off beat, and I feel like it does something so like it makes your storytelling ability and your ability to like, and I don't know if it's like the schizophrenia or you know, because you've told me how like the schizophrenia kind of makes you write in like in a sort of fractured way at times, but you write things in a way where it's like I can't predict where that next rhyme, where that next syllable rhyme is going to come, where you're going to rhyme one with another. I can't predict what word in this sentence you're going to rhyme with what word in the next sentence. With me, it's very easy to tell what syllables I'm going to hit because I need to hit them for it to sound aesthetically pleasing to the ear. Like but you still make it sound aesthetically pleasing to the ear and still have this like cadence and flow pattern while spacing your words out and being able to say, essentially being able to say more words that don't rhyme in between the ones that do than I do. Mine, I have word that rhymes after word that rhymes after word that rhymes after word that rhymes back to back to back to back. You're very good at spacing them out and still making it sound cohesive and like while it's and still matching a cadence, if you get what I mean. That was kind of a long-winded way of explaining it, but yeah, your tech. I love your technique, and I just wish that I could emulate more of how you spread your rhymes out like that. Is it the schizophrenia, or is it just like do you do it intentionally? Is it just how you do it, or
My thought, the best way I could describe it, right? The best way I can describe it is my thought process is like a kaleidoscope. Okay. Right. So you look in a kaleidoscope and you see a bunch of different images, right? And your brain just can't put it together, you know. So eventually you turn the kaleidoscope and you find something that is aesthetically pleasing to look at within the kaleidoscope. That's where my writing falls on. So it's a very external type of view, right? So I would be, yeah, it's not necessarily the schizophrenia, right? It's more of like I can be writing and then I'll be interrupted, you know, mentally I'll be interrupted. And it's like I'll take that interruption and I'll add more to my music. Okay. And then whenever the interruption is over, all right, I'll go back, read what I did. And then between that, okay, that's whenever I start putting in the details. And the moment where I was interrupted in my music is where I've always been able to have a breather during my music when I perform it.
It feels like it feels kind of like you're tripping uphill. Like you're tripping, but then somehow every time you trip, you get higher up the mountain. And it's like, wait, he's tripping, but he's still getting there faster than we are. So he's better at climbing than we are. You know what I mean? Like it's like that kind of thing. It's like, you know, you're not following you are following the path less traveled by, actually, you know, and you know the way and the way you do it. I love the kaleidoscope you know, imagery, but the way you do it is like you take a certain topic, right? And then, like you just said, you'll get lost mentally. But it feels like you tripped while you were doing a dance and then found some way to make that trip look like a dance move and carry it into another dance move. You know what I mean? Like, and literally the best way I can describe it is tripping uphill faster than anyone else can hike. You know, it's like because it's so unique, it's so beyond the norm. It's not what the music industry would consider the standard of, more what I adhere to of the rhyme scheme and the flow patterns, but your ability to seemingly almost get lost and then recover and bring it back around to what you were talking about originally, and then feed off of that and make that its own metaphor in and of itself, and then loop back again. And then but the way you loop back each time to what you were talking about is phrased slightly differently in a way that you can now make that into another metaphor, into another rhyme scheme, into another setup punchline. So, and then refer back to what you've already said and make that another setup punchline. And it's very intricate what you do. And like, it's crazy how your brain works and how you're able to veer off in different directions and then tie it all together like literally you're a spider, dude. You're a fucking spider. You're literally you making spider webs, bro. Like that shit's
a song called Cobwebs. That's kind of like how it describes it. Exactly, like that's kind of crazy that you mentioned that. I might have to do that next time.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Yo, you're up on the 21st, I believe. 21st, we got everybody stay tuned for our Christmas episode. And actually this episode is coming to an end now, guys. So make sure you go follow us and subscribe to us on all these platforms right here that I'm going to put up in front of you real quick. But also make sure you go check out obviously next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll have a whole batch of artists for you. But Christmas episode, New Year's Eve episode, my man Caleb's going to be on both of them. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of your favorite guests on here. My personal favorite guests. So if they're not your favorites, then fuck you. I don't know what to say. They're my favorites, so I picked them. Fucking deal with it. But anyway, guys, we're going to have a lot of fun the next few weeks. It's going to be a great December. I got a lot of great guests. Next 3 shows already booked with some of my favorite fucking guests. So stay tuned. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Caleb. And what the hell? I was just going to list you guys all off and then my whole list disappeared. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you to Sonia. Thank you, everybody who watched and participated. Thank you in the comment section. Diggers BTW7, the only person that commented tonight. We appreciate your support. Thank you. And just all of the Lostboys community. This wouldn't be shit without you guys. It wouldn't be anything. And it is honestly the most wonderful, amazing, beautiful fucking community in the world. And you guys are not my fans. You guys are not my audience. You are my family. You are my friends. And I am blessed to have you guys. So thank you all so much for tuning in and participating. And we'll catch you next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Peace out, guys.